Baruch atah Adonai korei tabirit. Hand the baby to Abby, please. For God's sakes, real smile, please. Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu kaim ra'yan razem yavivu limo v'yikarei shemo v'Yisrael. Moshe Ezra ben Nissen Wolf Udvar Gedalia Yismach Ab Yotzei Chalatza v'Tagel Imo B'Vidna Kagatu Yismach Avicha V'Mecha v'Tagel Yoladetecha v'Nemar V'Evor Alayich V'Erech Mikoses B'Damayich
Baby gets a little wine. He's
ready. ונאמר זכר לעולם בריתו דבר ציווה ללכתור אשר קראת את אברהם ושבועתו ליצחק ויעמידה ליעקב לכל לישראל ברית עולם ונאמר ויאמר אברהם ליצחק ובן 8 ימים כאשר ציווה אותו אלוהים הודו לאדוני כי טוב כי לעולם חסדו הודו לאדוני כי טוב כי לעולם חסדו משה עזרא בן ניסן וולף ודבור גדליה זעקתון גדול יהיה כשם שנכנס לברית. Ooh,
this might be Deb's first sip of wine.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mason Eli Kaplan has been given the Jewish name of Moshe Ezra ben Nissen Wolf and Devorah Gedalia, the son of Wes and Deborah. And the blessing that we've extended to him is that as he's entered the covenant, so may he enter the world of Torah, the wedding canopy, and a life of good deeds, and let us all say Amen.
Amen.
Sharon, please hold the baby, but don't leave.
We want some of those sucking things.
A special prayer for the well-being of the youngster and his speedy recovery. ויברך וירפא את הרחנים על משה עזרא בן דבורה גדליה בעבור שנכנס לברית של אברהם אבינו כשם שנכנס לברית של אברהם אבינו כן ייכנס לתורה לחופה ומעשים טובים ולומר אמן. Please give your attention to the parents who have a few words to share.
Today, Wes and I are giving our son the Hebrew name of Moshe Ezra. As many of you know, Moshe was the name of my grandfather. He dedicated over 25 years of his life to this shul and its members, and last September, the reception room behind you was dedicated in his memory. So it was only fitting that we name our son here today after my grandfather. Grandpa Murray was the most selfless, loving, kind, gentle person I ever knew. His love for his family, and especially his grandchildren, was always evident. He and my grandmother were our first babysitters and were always there for us growing up. I can picture how excited my grandpa would have been to see his great-grandson here today. But instead, I honor his memory by giving our son my grandfather's Hebrew name, Moshe. My hope for Mason is that he takes after his great-grandpa Murray. May he be just as kind and loving as his great-grandfather, and may he have the same great love of Judaism.
Mason's Hebrew middle name Ezra is after Mason's Hebrew middle name Ezra is after my grandmother Esther. She was one of the most special women I've ever known. She had the most amazing heart filled with tons of love and compassion. Esther, or Grammy as she was called, gave the best hugs, and when she held you, it was one of the most relaxing feelings ever. She was the ultimate, most amazing people person. Everybody loved Esther, and Esther had love for everybody. Her smile and laugh were contagious. One of my most special memories of Grammy was when we went to Catskills on Broadway, just show with a bunch of great Jewish comedians. In all my life, I have never heard someone laugh so hard. Tears were streaming down her face, and she could barely catch her breath. She was laughing so hard. The reason my wife and I chose the E for Eli in English and Ezra in Hebrew was to give thanks and love to one of the most special women in my life.
Well said.
So we hope and pray that your son will carry these names with pride. The memories of Murray and Esther perpetuated for a blessing. Most important, all of their most wonderful qualities imbued in your son and all of these wonderful people to celebrate many happy occasions together with you, to watch him grow and thrive and be a source of pride and joy to all who know him. This is my favorite announcement. I'd like to be the first to announce that Mason Eli, Moshe Ezra, will become a bar mitzvah, please God, on Saturday. It happens to be Shabbat, the 7th of February, 2026.
Count me in.
Allow me to explain briefly what that date means. It just so by coincidence that it's a Saturday, a Shabbat. Had the baby been born 2 days earlier, it would have been a Thursday. 2 days later, he becomes a bar mitzvah on a Monday. What do I mean? You don't have a bar or bat mitzvah, you become one. It has nothing to do with ceremonies, Torahs, rabbis, synagogues, parties, nothing. It has to do with reaching the Jewish age of majority, which for the boys is the 13th Hebrew birthday, and for the girls in traditional Judaism, the 12th Hebrew birthday. His 13th Hebrew birthday will be, God willing, Shabbat, Saturday, February 7th, 2026. That's the day he becomes a bar mitzvah. Well, if he goes to synagogue, he counts in a minyan, that's fine. If he get called to the Torah. These are all examples of things that one may do when one reaches the age of majority. But if it was a Tuesday or a Wednesday, well, he'd do other things. Put on tefillin, etc. The whole point is, after services on that Shabbat, sponge cake, herring, and schnapps, you're all set. Finally, please remember we don't invite people to Bris. We simply announce the event. There are no invitations. If you get invited to a Bris, Jewish tradition says you're stuck. You have to go. You're not allowed to refuse. Due in part to the spiritual presence of Elijah the prophet. Now, since there are no invitations, that means you can go to any Bris you want. You don't even have to know the family. You can just show up. Why?
Bris
Because it's a
crashing,
simcha,
new thing.
and everyone is always welcome to share in our joyous events. It is my great hope that we meet again soon at another happy occasion, and for all of you, may you continue to attend many, many happy occasions, and may they always outnumber the sad ones. Please join in the singing of Simon Tov and Mazel Tov as we conclude, and Sharon dances the baby around. Simon Tov,
Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov,
Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Simon Tov, Simon Tov, Mazel Tov, Mazel Tov, and Simon Tov. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Olechol Yisrael. Yeilanu, Yeilanu, Olechol Yisrael.
Mason getting his first dance from Grandma. Future prom date.
Ladies and gentlemen, we begin the festive meal. Mazel
The two cousins gonna terrorize us. Great grandma.
You're a tender, not a barrel. Don't think that. You obeyed the rules.